champion, playing in his first ever semi-final here in Belfast, strictly Chris Wakelin. A six-time ranking event finalist who has lit up the Waterfront Hall all week with some incredible play. Welcome, Jack Lisowski.
Wow, it's for days like these. We love this game. Enjoy the action and good afternoon to our commentary team of Neil Foles and first up, David Hendon.
Thank you. The first frame, Jack Lisowski to break.
And then there were four. We're down to the semi-finals of the Northern Ireland Open, and what a fascinating pair of matches we've got. Judd Trump up tonight against Barry Hawkins. First up, Jack Lisowski and Chris Wakelin. No one's got close to Lisowski this week. He's lost one frame in each of his matches along the way. Chris Wakelin, the highlight was that win over Sean Murphy, and he's kept going. Of course, he's shootout champion, but in a sort of standard ranking event, this is his first ever semi-final. Lisowski's 12th and looking to reach his 7th final. But of course, as has been said and will continue to be said until it happens, he's also looking to win his first title. It's got to be said, Neil, the way he's played this week, it could well happen this weekend.
Yes, I mean, if you hadn't seen any sort of recent snooker and you watched Lisowski this week, you'd be quite staggered how he hasn't won anything, because he's played so well. Especially, I thought yesterday it all came together against Ricky Walden, who didn't appear to be in bad form himself. I was on commentary last night on Discovery Plus for Chris Wakelin's victory over Jan Sejun, and he did enough to win. He didn't play all that well, I didn't think. There was quite a horrible miscue in the last frame when he had the match won, and then he missed another chance. But eventually, you know, the scoreline of 5-2 looks fine. But the form was not there that Lisowski showed, but of course that was yesterday, and today is a new day.
Wakelin 4.
Well, the enough leaves this red on. The head-to-head between them is 3-0 to Lisowski, but they're very similar age, so they would have played a lot, I'm sure, on the junior circuit as well, coming through.
He certainly played well to beat Sean Murphy, as you pointed out. And, you know, Murphy, well, he has been in good, seemingly good form. He was in his previous match. Murphy used 2 different cues in that match, which I'm sure it will give your opponent a massive boost. And I think even Wakelin said that afterwards, because no one's ever done it successfully. Changed cues mid-match. Anyway, here he is. That's a couple of rounds back. The table has been recovered. It looks fairly quick, judging by that last shot. Well, I think he's on one. He didn't go into them with pace, but he's enough on it just to nudge red on. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, we really are down now to one table, this arena, with an audience on the 3 sides. Just a reminder of how serious it's become. He actually said in the interview that dreaming of playing in this sort of environment. He's been playing snooker since he was 6 years of age. He started playing in junior events at 10, so a lot of snooker under his belt already. You can see people in the upper tier as well here at the Waterfront. All eyes on these two. Of course, he's the only right-hander, isn't he, left in the tournament. This tournament's only ever been won by left-handed players.
12.
Well, he would certainly need to start this match with a bang, I feel, the way that his opponent
90.
had sauntered through all of these rounds, just losing one frame in every match, as we've said. And he's a very correct player, Wakelin. When he's in, you know, he's very orthodox. I was going to say predictable, but that would not be a compliment. It sort of does things the way that other players, top players, do them. Maybe the grounding with Mark Selby that Jimmy White spoke about is a reason. You know, completely percentage calls on most shots. Can't fault anyone that plays the game as it should be played. That's another lovely cannon.
Yes, and of course he has the confidence of having won a tournament. The shootout's not easy to win. It's a rather frenetic environment. He won the final in a single visit of 119, the highest break of the whole event.
20.
And if he wins this match, he's guaranteed to be in the Champion of Champions, which is a very prestigious tournament coming up next month. Because Judd Trump and Barry Hawkins, they're both already qualified.
$35. $36.
Tiny bit straight on this. He has got that red to the right, which you can just... You could take the cue ball back to where it is now and have a comfortable shot at the red. So it isn't bad where he is.
$41. $42.
Well, I think he can play on the red to the opposite corner to the black here. Yeah, there's another precise positional shot. Very nicely done. It's good stuff, this.
49.
Excellent start.
$50.
So now what does he do? Just a question of playing on the loose red or nudging the half a dozen is not the worst thing.
For those just joining us, this is the first semi-final of the Northern Ireland Open. Chris Wakelin against Jack Lisowski, and quite a key moment for Wakelin trying to kill this frame off.
Yeah, and he hasn't quite done it, has he, on the basis of that shot? He looked at it for a long time, didn't know exactly how to go about getting onto a red. And while he's on something, You know, this is a long way from ball to ball. I'm sure he'll take it on, but it, you know, it could be missed, this.
Chris Wakelin, 57.
Maybe lucky. Don't know if he's left anything to the middle. I think there was a red that went to the middle initially, but the red, as you can see, comes round and just moves it. The one that he missed.
So a good start for Wakelin, but the split didn't work out really. Left himself that difficult red. Still plenty on.
Exactly, Dave. And one thing Jack Lisowski has been doing recently, he's been making exceptional John Higgins-like clearances from a long way behind in frames. Not going to do it on this visit, but he has started to make a name for himself as someone that can retrieve frames from very unpromising positions with clearances.
Yeah, I mean, we were at the British Open, weren't we, in Cheltenham? We cleared up in the decider against Sean Murphy. First two shots were, you know, either could have been the shot of the tournament, actually, and they were played successively.
Well, Wakelin keen to get reds on cushions, trying to make this table more awkward for any counter-attack that might be about to happen to him. Jack will remove the reds on safety shots where he can. Sometimes you see these exchanges, and really it's all about the scoreboard. Who's in front as to what shots are played in defence. I wonder if he's thinking to have a little dart at this red down the cushion. We saw Judd Trump pop an incredible red down the left cushion last night. I mean, it was as clean a pot from distance at speed as you'll ever see. If Jack went for that safe red, it doesn't appear to be the shot necessarily, but he could, if it went in, get himself back into the frame. He looked at it once, now he's on something else. Back on the red again, but I don't know if he's going for the pot or not. Maybe taking it off the cushion. Seemingly no damage done. Yeah, an immaculate safety shot. He has left a long red, which I suppose Jack is interested in, but you know, it's not an easy one, this. Long way between cue ball and object ball on it. Well, they're very difficult. It's almost like the crowd groan as if he's missed a sitter, but of course, yeah, it wasn't one of those.
Yeah, he's pushed the blue safe, which is not in his favour, obviously, 61 behind. It was really leaving the long red on from, well, it was an in-off. He might have got away with it, but that let Wakelin in to get the lead in this frame with the 57 break. And that red's gone in. Still 75 on the table. I think a year ago, if this had been the match, Lisowski would have been a big favourite, actually. But obviously, Wakelin is now in his best ever ranking. He's won a tournament. He is dangerous. Trying to push another colour safe. Didn't quite get it safe.
No, and I always think on that shot, if you're going to play to put the ball safe, then the position of the cue ball is secondary. Just get the ball safe. It doesn't mean if you leave the cue ball out in open play. So another chance is coming his way. You'd like to think he'll clear to the point where Lisowski cannot win here. Hasn't really settled yet. He did miss a long ball at the beginning of the match, winning off, which is the kind of ball that he's been knocking in.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken on 4 long pots and missed them all, actually, so not most promising of starts. Now Wakelin needs to put this away.
One.
There's some applause. Yes, he's 70 in front with 67 on, but the cue ball was like it was made of stone there. It hardly moved. I thought he would get a bit of zip on it, but nothing happened, basically, when he hit it, except for the fact that he potted the black.
Chris Wakelin, 8.
There seem to have been a lot of frames this week where players have got snookers they needed. They haven't always gone on to win the frames, but just one needed. It's not Wakelin's frame yet.
I think it will be now, if this red goes in. This one that is on the left side, just cut it in, up the table, surely end of frame.
Yeah, not a good start from Lisowski, but Wakelin, of course, he's here for his own reasons, and he made that good 57, and surely now he's going to win this opening frame. It's best of 11, first to 6.
I
think Lisowski will have seen enough. Indeed he has. Couldn't really make much impact on the opener. Chris Wakelin dominated it. So off and running then on semi-final Saturday. Chris Wakelin leading 1-0. This is the scene here in Belfast today. One table, big crowd, and Jack Lisowski and Chris Wakelin doing battle for a place in the final of the Northern Ireland Open. Chris Wakelin's won the opening frame pretty emphatically in the end.
Yeah, I mean, his style is going to be, he's going to have to just keep Jack at bay, isn't he, and keep him out, because his long game has been very good this week, and his short game as well. So, you know, he's just got to take the sting out of things. That first frame was a typical way of doing so, I think, against Lisowski. Long way to go. Wakelin has made a good start. Lisowski hasn't really started at all yet.
Yeah, and it just feels like an important match. Now the arena's been reconfigured, of course the second table taken out. So all eyes really on these two. There's so much snooker that gets played, you know, in the best of sevens. It's non-stop, some late nights, but obviously when you get down to today, the prize is within sight.
Try to get him behind the brand, of course, but even then it's another well-weighted shot. You know, he is an excellent match player, as I mentioned earlier, Wakelin, and we're seeing it in these early stages. Not giving away chances. Oh, that's just unbelievable, isn't it? Just unbelievable. Did he play through the gap as well? This is an incredible pot and so controlled. This is even almost as difficult, this play. Yeah, it was a hard shot, that. I mean, he probably deserved to be behind the black better after such a fantastic red. The black was not an easy shot.
Well, it was thin. Remember, Lisowski has only lost one frame in each match, and obviously that's already the case in this one.
Nicely done. Well, I guess the longer the match is, that's going to be hard to live up to anyway, isn't it, for anyone, especially if he was to win the finals over 2 sessions tomorrow. I guess more frames are going to be lost. But you know, today could be the day when he might have to really roll his sleeves up if he's going to get the job done. Right now, getting a frame on the board is the first thing he should be considering, not much else. Don't want to get ahead of himself.
7.
Getting an angle on the blue might be the way into the bunch here.
I remember he came over, Neil, to one year when one of the years Trump was in the final. Actually came over to support him. So he may well be, tomorrow he'll be playing him. We'll see.
8.
Well, a lot's made of the friendship aspect of the times he's lost to him in finals, 3 of them. But in snooker, you know, there's always somebody you're really good pals with who you have to play. It's not really any different to anyone else has had to go through. I always think of course, Jordan Brown was at the Ali Pali when Mark Allen won. They're great pals. And, of course, they've had to play since then. I think they played at the UK last year. Anyway, not quite right on the blue this time. No angle to get near the reds
19.
This is difficult. He's going to have to force it in, screw back. Good shot, but the cue ball didn't move, and we saw have a shot like that earlier. Say that it's like a dead white for some reason. He tried to get something on it, but nothing seemed to happen.
Just hard work, isn't it? The black nail to the top cushion. Obviously not helping things.
The table's been recovered as well, you know. I thought that you'd see the ball zipping around more. I think it's fast, but not very responsive. It's almost like we've gone back to the Bonzoline balls, or whatever they used to use in the dim and distant past.
Brown ball. Jack Lisowski, 20.
Well, he didn't mean to hit both reds on that safety shot, and that's why the cue ball went nowhere. I think he hit the first reds too thin and hit the second one, and that slowed up the cue ball.
So back in and get the black back on its spot, and then he might be away here. And I've listened to some of his interviews this week. It's good to hear Jack actually talking about how well he's playing, because for me he's been a bit too self-deprecating. Some people are like that, but even that clearance against Murphy that he made in Cheltenham, I saw him straight afterwards and just said, well done, and he said, oh, I threw that match away. And I said, Jack, you won it. You know, he actually won the match, and you've got to really be positive about how well you're doing, how well you're playing.
True, and that clearance, I mean, I saw him immediately after that match. He came up to the studio and didn't have any emotion at all. You know, he was very sort of passive about it. He wasn't pumped, he wasn't excited. He was just very polite to everyone, as ever. So I guess that's how he operates.
Yeah, I mean, he's not at all big-headed, but sometimes actually a little bit of that does help in sport. But he is who he is. He's very popular
14.
with snooker fans, and a lot of people are willing him to win a title here this weekend.
$15.
Well, I don't know if he's got any plans of going into the bunch. Be shaped worse, sending the cue ball down the table, and he's hit the reds square on. Does anything go? He had to hit that bottom red, or else the cue ball was just going to whiz over to a side cushion or down the table. Is he on that one? Left-hand side, I think, to make the angle happen. I think it's partly obscured by the other red, unless he uses side. Hit the wrong red there. That's why the cue ball was lost, that he hit the wrong red. But he's got a lead of 44, and while he's not winning a frame in one visit with that, he's got to find a way of thinking up a good safety shot. He did that excellent, very well yesterday. The way that he thought through safety shots put Waldron in quite a lot of trouble, which is not something I've ever really associated with his game before. He thought out situations better than I've seen him.
Black ball. Jack Lisowski.
Yeah, he's definitely vastly improved in that area, and also he's a lot more comfortable in general on the main table. It's like the sort of the world's longest jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? The pieces are finally coming together. So he's in control of this frame at the moment, 44-0. Sort of frame where certain players are very good at closing out a lead like this. That's what he'll be looking to do now, not give Wakelin a chance and then earn one for himself to level this match.
Well, if you're looking at those four reds and the ping, it's quite hard to see what safety shot he could play off those four reds. Indeed, that's what he's trying to do. Maybe that red, well, certainly is available. Ah, it's a magnificent shot. And that's unbelievable. I couldn't work out what sort of thin contact he was trying to make, but it's not really a natural, you know, to go up and down. He missed the red. The red could end up at the other end of the table as well. Well, some of the long pots he knocks in are quite something. You know, there is an argument. He's as good as anybody at long range now. Certainly on recent form anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Wakelin seemed to have played a good safety, didn't he? But Lisowski gets second chance to win this frame.
I think he did, and I think it's the second time in the match, Dave, already in these frame and a half we've seen where Jack has been forced into going for a long pot with no obvious safety route. So in a way, it's almost dangerous to leave him one when he's forced to play.
Well, two more pots should be one apiece. This is a venue where a few careers have been turned around, haven't they? Mark Williams, who began his comeback here. Of course, Judd Trump got on that great run, winning here. Mark Allen as well.
Again, that was well played. It really was, to the inch.
15.
Yeah, he's played a good frame, you know, not with any sensational breaks, but sometimes you just got to win them the way you can. He knocked in a couple of terrific balls at long range. We're in for a good match here. Both playing well, as you'd expect of semi-finalists.
Yeah, it's a terrific lineup, isn't it? You know, I mean, the week started with all sorts of talk about the people that weren't here, but the people that are here have all got a story and are all playing well. And we're guaranteed a memorable climax to this Northern Ireland Open. Just looks confident. He hasn't always been on the main stage, but he is right now. He's looking to reach his first final since early 2021. It has been a while.
Thirty-nine. 43. 48.
Well, they've really got in with was pretty breathtaking, and he's gone on to make a lovely break here to take the frame out. So Chris Wakelin dominated the opener. Jack Lisowski's responded in kind in the second with that 61 clearance. All square in Belfast, 1 each. The Waterfront Hall in Belfast, big crowd in, enjoying an intriguing start to proceedings. Chris Wakelin dominated the first, Jack Lisowski dominated the second. Here we go with frame three.
Jack Lisowski to break.
What we saw from that second frame is that, you know, even if you think you've played a good safety, Jack Lisowski can knock them in from anywhere. But he played a sensible frame as well. He took the lead 44. He managed to keep Wakelin out and then managed to get himself in, as we saw, made the 61 to complete the frame.
Interesting choice of shot. I mean, I suppose if the cue ball hits the side cushion, then the bottom cushion he could have got on the black would have been shot in half, although looking at overhead, the black might have been tight anyway. It's an odd shot, but I suppose he's slightly unlucky to going off. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is one of these ones where, awkward ones, where he's got access to a ball, i.e. the black. But, I mean, how on earth do you get to it? We need some scaffolding put up, I think, to reach this. Would be worse if he was right on top of the reds. But this is the problem with this, the miss rule. You know, if he was to miss 3 times here or play a different colour,
Can offer you. There's a long spider on this.
he would lose a frame. But a clear shot means access to a shot, and I don't think he's got much access to this.
Okay.
It happened, didn't it? Someone lost a frame. Maybe Andrew Paget lost a frame to Barry Hawkins in this exact environment in a qualifier this season.
It wasn't handled brilliantly by the referee, as I remember, but I've always had, you know, even in my own playing day, I had a fear of finishing in a position like this, perhaps even tougher, where you could be buried, but you have a shot at one ball. He's getting all the equipment out. I don't think there's too much left under the table now.
It's no fun, this.
He's like Inspector Gadget, isn't he? Looking for more things under there.
Well, we've now got the extended spider. Anything else, Chris?
Like I say, this is where the misroll is, and I've got no problem with the misroll. It needs to be there. This is where it's slightly unfortunate for poor old Chris Wakelin, because he's in all sorts of grief here. I mean, look at that. Never seen the like of it. The other problem is you can't see the cue ball because the reds are in the way. From his eye line, you see the top of it. It's over. That's the best thing you can say about it. The shot's over.
Yeah, he didn't catch any reds with the cue or anything like that either, so a bit of unpleasantness has passed us by.
Well, very few mistakes have been made in safety, but there's one where the red has just drifted close to a pocket. Is he on the ping here? He may be. There's a slow sort of trudge around the table. I think when he got there, he realised he may be on this. It's tight. I think there's a gap through to the pink.
Seven. Eight. Lisowski.
No, it caught that cushion, so that's a surprise, really.
Yeah, as soon as you do catch that bottom cushion, they're only going to stay out, I think. Yeah, I mean, they're not simple shots, but as Dave says, a bit of a surprise. He hadn't... Everything's been going in cleanly for a frame and a bit. So here's a chance. It's a bit like frame one, really, isn't it? Wakelin had to start well, and when opportunities like this come along, he really has to keep Lisowski in his chair.
10 years now on tour. Chris Wakelin turned pro 2013 in rather strange circumstances in his cue school. His last match, his opponent, Adam Witchard, somehow managed to snap his own cue late on and therefore had to concede. So it was a bit of a strange one.
I can think that's probably the only example of turning up with 2 cues at the table where it would be of benefit. There's not seemingly any benefit in doing it usually.
16.
Get on this red quite as intended. But in it goes.
Really good recovery shot, wasn't it? I mean, he potted it in the thick side of the pocket, top jaw, but that held the cue ball beautifully for the blue. Lovely recovery, that. So it gives him the option of playing on the loose red, or, you know, having a long, hard look at the half a dozen reds below the pink and how he could nudge into those. Well worked. Very nice.
22.
Yeah, so within a couple of shots, he's now become quite a big favourite, I think, to win this frame. I think, like a lot of players when he turned pro, he found it quite difficult early on. Things have changed a little bit more recently. They have induction programs and they give players advice. You know, back then you just sort of turn up the first event with your cue and get on with it, sort of thing. Shaking his head.
Yeah, that wasn't well played either. So, in fact, that's even worse than the last time from where he was. He's way short of pace. I just think this cue ball, he's not moving around as the players would like. Either that or Wakelin's timing is not ideal either. He did miss cue quite horribly last night towards the end of the win against Jan Sijun. Maybe that's on his mind, hitting too low on the ball or something. But it was enough to stop the break, the previous shot. It was tougher than the black that he missed to the opposite corner down that cushion. Might be a shot that other players would have possibly refused. I mean, this is really tough.
1.
And of course, you get closer to the miss. The object ball is not going anywhere away from the pocket, as you saw. He must keep his concentration here and not allow this chance to go astray like the one earlier. Look down on position, and it's a tough one. So it'll be red, relatively high value colour.
19.
To leave Lisowski requiring a snooker.
Yeah, it was a very tough red. Lisowski attempted. He may have thought he could cover it with the black, but he didn't. And it's cost him. Once this red in, though, stop any playing on for snookers. Just one needed at the moment. And it's not there, so not quite done yet.
27.
Well, in a strange way, that's worked in Lisowski's favour. That's quite a big area to try and land behind, those 3-bolt colours lined up there. So there's a chance of getting the required snooker, I suppose.
Well, obviously that does not help his cause.
Jack.
Yeah, he's been put back in.
Yeah, he's probably... Wakelin's probably thinking, well, he could cut this red in, but if he pots it, a low-value colour is likely to follow. So it's going that way. Well, it's just broken things up a little bit. And again, the snookers, but of course now it's 2 anyway. So he's really back to the wall stuff for Lisowski this frame. Well, that's not helped him because he tried to sneak the cue ball behind the yellow and he just pushed it onto the cushion instead. suppose this week we have seen a couple of frames won from highly unlikely positions. Worse than this, in your heart, you don't really believe that Jack will get these snookers. Chris Wakelin will probably hold on, but 3 snookers to tie was earlier in the week. Anthony McGill needed them against Robbie McGuigan, got them all, won the frame, won the match. So these things do happen infrequently. Well, that was a bit of a start the next frame sort of shot, wasn't it? I think he'd lost interest a bit there. And they soon will be starting the next frame.
Yes, all 3 frames so far have been one-sided. We saw in frame 2 Lisowski force his way in. He's already in front, but allowed him to kill the frame off. Tried to do the same in this one. Missed the red along the top cushion. And it was costly.
$16. 17.
We had some tough opponents, certainly early on, some real experienced opponents. Anthony Hamilton, Alfie Burden, Martin O'Donnell, and then, of course, Sean Murphy as well, before beating Yuan Sijun. It's not been an easy run to the semis. He's determined to make the most of it. Now he's here, and Chris Wakelin is back in front, leading Jack Lisowski 2-1. 2-1 it is to Chris Wakelin. One more frame to come before mid-session interval here at the Waterfront Hall. Very much established as one of the best venues on the circuit now. Seen a lot of drama here over the years. I'm sure more to come this weekend. Judd Trump, Barry Hawkins up, of course, this evening in the second semi-final. Trump looking to extend his winning run of matches to 19 in ranking events.
Clearly it's a bit of an annoyance when you hit the blue on the way back on those safety shots. I don't think either player particularly likes it if the blue ends up tied on a cushion or completely out of the game. Already the balls are slightly tricky here with it up. Not sure that is suiting Lisowski in this important 4th frame. doesn't want to fall 3-1 down, even though it's best of 11. He's got to stay with his opponent. Called it very thick, but again, with the colours tied up, even though this red is pretty much on, it's hard to think he's going to make that many from here unless he gets the balls more in play. It's only a half chance, I would say, not much more than that at this stage.
Three.
Well, he's looking at some sort of a fairly exotic looking plant, a 3-ball plant. The angle he's coming into it gives him a better chance of potting it than it looks. He ended up just whacking it, didn't he?
Jack Lisowski, 3.
Well, you heard the sort of the reaction from the audience one way or another. It was going to be a game changer, whether he got it or didn't get it, opening everything up. But could have left Wakelin something easier.
I think in that last shot, it looked a bit reckless, but in that last shot, there's a feeling that Jack would like to keep the balls open against Chris. I think that's how he'd like to approach this match. I don't think, even though his safety game is good, he wants to get embroiled in, you know, a Selby-like battle of wits with him.
Well, he did have a potential red, he didn't take it on, preferring to not push the boat out, so that's the difference, I guess, between them. Suddenly now it's danger, isn't it? From his perspective, the red's all out in the open. Having a good look at this one near the pocket.
Well, he needs to put side on it to pot that, which means he's got to just bend it around the yellow. Not playing it. Brilliant pot. He's on the black. How much would he fancy it? It would be a very, very tough shot. I think if it was straighter, he would give it more consideration. Goodness me, this is tough. And he's leaving all sorts. Should he miss it?
8.
Very nice,
9.
this. It was a brave shot to play. It did seem to slightly pull down, I thought, from right to left as we were looking at it. But he played it with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it's a good sign, I think, that he is taking those on. I mean, with the balls where they are, even a safety, he wasn't guaranteed it would be safe. So he saw a chance, and now it's a serious chance, isn't it, to make hay here. Table was kind of in lockdown, wasn't it, until Lisowski took that plant on.
$17.
Well, if he's going to win this match, which a lot of people don't think he will because of Lisowski's current form, but if he is to win, I think these are the passages of play where he's got to really take advantage of what he's achieved. Got to make it into a frame-winning chance. There's a long way to go, of course, but these are the kind of situations where he has to make hay.
$23. $24.
Be interesting if he played Trump in the final. He's not in the final yet, neither's Trump, but his record against him isn't great. 11-0, including that defeat from 4-0 down in Germany earlier this season. The rivalry was kind of defined by that match at the Crucible, wasn't it? Which was proper Shredsville stuff a few years ago. Went the distance.
27.
Anyway, you can worry about that tomorrow. Right now, he's got a job to do today. Try and get this 3-1 interval lead here.
28. $35. $36.
Well, it was all made possible when he got the black back on his own spot with that terrific black he knocked in.
$43. $49. $50. $56. $57. Chris Wakelin, 57.
Well, now, what about that? That looked a formality, the way he'd been knocking them in.
Thank you.
The frame is still live.
One.
I mean, in this frame, not so much unthinkable, but highly unlikely at this visit where the balls are. They're Reds all tangled up. But I suppose it's like anything else. You've got to start somewhere on a frame like this. And Wakelin probably should have already closed it out.
9.
Get the feeling he'll just nudge the red and pink here and try and develop both balls if possible, because he's going to need everything. Trouble is, it doesn't look a guaranteed cannon to work out. You know, obviously the objective is going to be to get onto, you know, red from it. It's not easy to see that happening. That's the problem. He played it really well, but he's not going to win the frame at this visit now, that's for sure.
I mean, Wakelin was lucky, wasn't he, in missing the pink, that it landed where it did, messing everything up down that end. But anyway, he could have potted it and the frame would have been over.
Well, he played to double it, but got the treble. I didn't expect to see that shot there, quite honestly. He gets a big, rapturous reception for it, but there's no way he played the treble. Yeah, slightly
Jack Lisowski, 70.
over keen on trying to make everything happen at that visit. Would have been shots getting more difficult by the visit to the table.
So, one more red needed for Wakelin. The double was a rather wild shot, wasn't it? It ended up a treble.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have to play it, did he? Because clearly he could have safety shot of some importance. That's the right way to play that shot, though. Isn't it, from Wakelin? Because he only wanted the red, as you said, and no heroes on shots like that.
Yeah, Lisowski trying to make something happen, but barring Snooker, he's going to be 3-1 down at the interval. Remember, he'd only lost a frame in each of his matches to get to the semis. Yet to hit real top form yet today. Still time, of course, a lot of time, but he's been trying to get in. It's not working. Well, we've seen enough. A little bit of frustration then maybe from Lisowski. Not quite carried on the form that's got him to the semi-finals. And Chris Wakelin, despite the odd error from his side, clearly the happier of the two at the interval. He leads 3-1, and when they come back in 15 minutes, he will need another 3 frames to reach the final of the Northern Ireland Open here in Belfast. Yes, I certainly think Jack Lisowski welcomed the interval. He didn't seem too happy with things. Trying to make things happen, they weren't. There's still time, a lot of time, 7 frames left. But he is 3-1 down. Chris Wakelin more than satisfied with the lead.
Thank you. Take your seats quickly, please.
As everyone settles down for the second half of our first semi-final. So Jack Lisowski gets the first semi-final here in Belfast back underway. They are quite often edgy affairs, semi-finals. Obviously, it's a massive prize to be here on Sunday to contest the Alex Higgins Trophy. But Wakelin is okay. There's been a few errors, but he's looked confident. He's looked solid, and he's in front. And he's looking obviously to do some damage straight away here on the resumption.
Yeah, there were a few signs of frustration, I thought, from Lisowski in frame 4 there. It's not even much wrong. He just tried to keep a break going when it ended up trebling a ball, and then he's not in the same form today, and these are the moments, aren't they? These are the matches, because, you know, he's never won anything we know, and there are going to be some days when you get out the bed the wrong side, and Jack has had that problem before. I mean, Judd, for instance, the day when there were 2 matches, the day before yesterday, I didn't think he played well in either, but he won them both. You know, he found a way of, you know, getting over the line twice in a day, and he played better again yesterday. So some days you've just got to find the way of winning.
Exactly, and this is the first time this week where things have been going wrong for Lisowski. He's won all his matches comfortably. It's been a bit of a procession, but this is different now. Had a chance at that red, didn't pot it. Wow.
Yeah, the red's gone in front of the black, yeah, significantly, I think. But I think you said wow, Dave, didn't you? Because he missed it by quite a way, overcut it.
Yeah, it wasn't the most comfortable cueing, but even so, didn't really get anywhere near it.
No, I mean, when they don't even hit the knuckle or the jaw of the pocket, just bounce off the cushion, you know that they're way out.
Yeah, the pockets are not overly generous, and of course they're not supposed to be. I think they're now pretty much spot on, actually, what they should be. You know, you're supposed to be accurate. That was very close to dropping, but didn't.
I think Jack would happily take a re-rack here. I don't know if it's going to happen. I just think he would like that, to start this frame again with the balls on their spots.
Yeah, he sort of half stole a glance, didn't he, at Chris there?
He did. There's nothing forthcoming. I mean, it's not really a stalemate, actually. I mean, no. I mean, the reds either end of the table are not. It's different if there's that red at the far end of the table is over one of the pockets. Clearly, they're never going to leave it. It's not really a stalemate. So, the re-rack is not a certainty by any means. Tatiana having a little look up. I say, not that threatening a table. It's just not really taken off this frame yet. If I was Chris, I don't think I'd want a re-rack. I think that that red and black tied up is more against Jack Lisowski than Chris Wakelin. No player really likes it. But at 3-1 up, he just wants to get another frame one. If he's not pretty, I don't think Wakelin will be too bothered.
No, and if And he will have noticed that Lisowski was getting a bit frustrated. Don't do anything to cheer him up. The red now's come back out of bulk, so it's more of a standard frame.
Oh, this is really bad misjudgment. Goodness, I don't even know if he hit the right red there. Cue ball was charging up and down the table.
One.
That was a nicely played shot.
Three.
Now he's checking to see if the pink will go to the right middle. It looks pretty congested around there, but it may do. Doesn't quite make it, so it's going to be hard graft this break.
Nine. Ten.
Well, again, not on the blue as you would expect, but he might end up playing it. He's so far straight in behind it that he could play it. The green's the other option, of course, to stun the cue ball round the angles. So it'll be a hard fault break here. If he gets 45 or something from this, it'll seem like a lot.
Almost at the last moment there, he's just spotted something on the cue ball. Tatiana Wollaston, our referee here. Bit of a stretch. Seems sort of willing the cue ball to hold up.
Yeah, but he's gone in a very awkward spot, in fact. It's a good recovery shot. I mean, he had a reasonable angle on that yellow, but the balls were close together, which never makes things easy. This is a 16 break. It seems like a lot more. It's been at the table a while. Taking low-value colours along the way.
70.
That's a terrific shot, though. That is beautifully played. Look at that. Absolutely A1. And with an angle, if he wants to just get that pink out, so it's not all about sort of low-value colours with reds. It's taken him 5 minutes, nearly. This break's been every shot, really. But now, all thanks to that really good shot,
22.
the one before, getting on the blue right, things are more out in the open. Just had a little bit of a shaky moment, I thought, at the start of this frame. It didn't exactly spring into life, this fifth frame, but he looks back on track now.
Yeah, I think so far he's been more accepting of the fact that there will be errors, whereas Lisowski, once he started to make them, just hasn't looked his normal confident self. He's capable, Lisowski, of course, of just a sudden burst of inspiration. I think it's what he needs right now, but obviously, first of all, he's got to get to the table. He may not in this frame, and if he's 4-1 down, then he desperately needs something to happen in the next. Otherwise, his great run may come to a rather juddering halt.
Twenty-eight.
And once again, that wasn't played particularly well. He wanted to be straighter on this. I mean, you've got to be careful not to miss the pot here, but cue ball heading towards the red without complete control over it. Now what? I don't know whether he's
35.
put that rest back. I'm not sure what he's on. The answer is nothing, I would say.
Well, it was a lot of effort,
Wakelin, 35.
and just at the time when it looked like he would go on and win the frame, having done the hard work, it came to a rather sudden halt. So the lead is only 35.
If Jack could play a safety shot, get the black free behind him, it's a very difficult shot to play because you're so hard to get that cue ball right back. If you catch it too thick, the cue ball doesn't go anywhere. Anyway, be a good frame for Lisowski to win because he hasn't really participated in it very much yet. It's been all about Chris Wakelin.
Chris Wakelin, 1.
I think he has got the snooker. I think he's going twice across and trying to get to the red below the black. Playing at the pace where he was the snooker back. That's ambitious, I think.
Miss.
It's almost like you're trying to push the red away and get the snooker, which was setting your sights pretty high on a shot like that.
So this time the cue ball has held up, and another chance with the Reds in the open to make it 4-1. And that is a handsome lead against an opponent who is struggling.
I didn't think he played all that well, despite winning 5-2 last night. Lisowski was brilliant. It's a funny old game, snooker, isn't it? He's gone from playing well, and as Dave said, he is struggling now. But reasons, probably Wakelin's made things a little difficult for him, and also just hasn't played anywhere near as well today. I suppose you can't always churn out good performance.
Well, things are going to have to change soon for him. Jack Lisowski's pot success, he's down at 75% in this match, clearly.
$29.
I mean, snooker's a bit different to golf, isn't it, where you're playing just against the course, but sometimes at snooker you can only play as well as your opponent allows you to. And in fairness, Chris Wakelin has made things difficult from the outset in this match.
37. 38.
Well, he's got full control, but as we know, these matches can turn. Lisowski can start to find the form that's got him to this stage. He can turn it round, but you feel it's got to start in the next frame now. Going to have to win the next frame to put pressure on.
44. 46. 49. 53.
Played that safety, but left a red on. And Chris Wakelin has made a half-century.
58.
In fact, it's his highest break of the match thus far. Yeah, he's looking good, obviously growing in confidence with every frame he wins.
64.
A fine 71 clearance, the highest break of the match so far from Chris Wakelin. He's firmly in the driving seat, 2 frames away from the final, leading for... At the waterfront, Chris Wakelin at the moment quite a big favourite to reach the final of the Northern Ireland Open. He leads 4-1 against Jack Lisowski. It's not been a match of fireworks necessarily, but when the chances have come along, he's taken them well. This is the big frame now. If he wins this one as well, 5-1, it's very hard to see the recovery, but if Lisowski can win it and win it well, you just never know, it might spark something. He needs a bit of spark at the moment, doesn't he? He's gone a bit flat from his perspective, which is not a word you normally associate with him.
I saw the red rock. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I think what happened there was, I think Chris Wakelin was attempting to call a foul on himself or a misunderstood situation, and Tatiana said, no, I saw the red move. So she overruled it.
So honest these players are, they're trying to claim fouls when they haven't made them.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can't be entirely sure.
Yeah, I mean, the old sort of British snooker club, it gets a bad rap, doesn't it? But one thing I think players are taught is that, you know, you've got to play the game properly, have respect for the game. And these two would have come up through the junior ranks, of course. Still quite thriving at that time when they were kids. Needs a good cue ball here. Needs to cover the red near the middle. Well, in fact, it's run on a little bit anyway.
Good pot. Next colour not straightforward. Not certainly for potting it and getting back onto a red. It's a tremendous piece of cueing. That is terrific to get that accuracy of the pot, and you know, the positional side of it is very well done. Look at that for cueing. Superb. He's getting really stuck in now, isn't he? He's playing some good stuff. He's lost his concentration briefly as they came out after the mid-session, but Jack's never really got his back, and Wakelin quickly picked his back up and playing some good stuff now. Now, if he got to a lead of 5-1, it's a very big lead in the best of 11. We do know of comebacks from there, but they don't happen all that often. Well, he hit it hard, and he really stunned it hard to get the reds open. I don't think he's quite right on the blue to come close to a red. I think think he's just off straight the wrong way. But he can still land the cue ball in the middle of the table from it.
Again, had to be so accurate with that one. If he's been practicing with Mark Selby, which of course he has done a lot in his career, it'll be instilled in him that the game's not supposed to be easy. It's hard. And there have been a couple of times this afternoon where he's made an error and you think, will that affect him? But it doesn't seem to have. He's just pressed on.
16.
Even that was a difficult shot to play that gently to hold for the pink. But he's just about done it. Yeah, he's bossing this match. There's no getting away from it.
He's in a good area, actually, rugby. It's sort of quite central, so you can get to practice with various people, you know, an hour or so away. And there's no doubt, and not everyone is a fan of the shootout, which is perfectly fine. Everyone has their own opinions, but winning it has completely transformed things for him. He went, remember, the next week to Berlin, to the German Masters. He beat Neil Robertson there. And he's a changed man because he has that trophy and that confidence that's come from it.
You can just see what the plan there. It's all about that little stun shot, all about how high or
38.
Low you hit the cue ball and how much spin you need to take it into the direction you want.
39.
But his control around the black spot, pretty good. Oh, now that's not gone to plan.
46.
I mean, I don't think you could legislate for that just being over the top of that red. Which means that the next cutback red, very awkward cueing. Well, he's on the brink of another frame here. There's still
52.
plenty on the table, but he's in possession. He's at the table and he's just going about his business very nicely here.
53.
As I say, more good cue ball control there on the pink top side.
Yeah, it's his 4th half century this afternoon.
$59.
It's another one of these slight recovery pots he needs to continue. Nicely done.
Well, he needs another red here. I mean, taking the pink means Jack can still win by a point with 5 reds and 5 blacks. I think he'd be pleased with that. Red to middle. And it's another frame, and he'd be on the brink of
66.
kind of special win if he could get to 6 and beat Jack Lisowski and appear in tomorrow's final. He's got to go in first. Well, that pulls down. We've seen that happen a few times. Now, crowd are urging him on, but is he going to risk the red down the cushion? Well, it certainly rolled in, didn't it? But it's kind of almost meant to with the nap of the cloth. This is a huge shot. To be honest, it was very difficult. I understand why he went for it. I mean, you've got to take that difficult red on at some point, so he went for it first. The fact is he hasn't bottled the ball since before the mid-session interval. That's his biggest problem. It's approaching 40 minutes of playing time.
Yeah, and had he got it, you know, he could well have cleared up, but he didn't, and it's now going to be 5-1, and it's going to take something clearly very special. Jack Lisowski's challenge has fizzled out here this afternoon. The balls he's taken on that he has been getting this week have not been going in. And Wakelin has been very solid. It doesn't sound like a great compliment, but, you know, he's not done much wrong. And that's what it's all about in this game. And remember, if he reaches the final, not only does it set up a huge day tomorrow, but he'll be guaranteed in the Champion of Champions, which is a big money tournament in Bolton in a couple of weeks' time.
$15. $16.
Yes, be quite an unusual route into it, wouldn't it, really? I mean, obviously, he's already won the shootout, but he's in it by virtue of knocking out the man who could have got in it ahead of him, with the other two already in it, Trump and Hawkins, so
22.
an unusual way into the event. I suppose he'd love to be in it as a winner of one of the home nations over the top of the shootout, which, of course, was the thing that in a way kick-started his career, as has done others in the past.
30.
I think it proves what our great colleague Clive Everton once said is true, that the biggest gap in terms of titles is from 0 to 1. once you've won one, you know you can do it, and it gives you the confidence to carry on doing it. That's what, of course, Jack's trying to do, but Chris is already there. And that has maybe been a factor today.
37. $44.
So he missed that red to middle, but Lisowski felt he had to
49.
take the tough red on down the cushion. As I say, he gets it. You know, there's every chance he could have stolen the frame. He didn't get it, and Wakelin picking up the pieces.
55.
It's another good, solid half-century. One more frame required, and he's in the final. Chris Wakelin standing up here. Lisowski in big, big trouble now. 5-1. So Chris Wakelin looking to close this out. Lisowski's just left the arena between frames to try and just G himself up, try and make something happen. He does have that ability to win frames quickly in pretty dazzling style, if he can do that. Who knows, he could put pressure on, but he's got to do it. Otherwise, Wakelin is clearly going to be in the final. He's looking good, he's standing up to it well. He's been certainly the better player and deserving of this lead. 5-1, long way back from here. He's getting good support, though, from the crowd here. They like him. They want to see him do well. They want to see him make a comeback. Huge frame for him, though, Chris Wakelin, if he can win it. What an achievement to get to the final, getting the champion of champions. And then can settle back tonight and see how Judd and Barry get on.
Make Jack look good.
I think Chris has got better as the afternoon's gone on. This is a right old stretch. Still potted the green, though. Potted it well. Players these days, they all have their own sort of way of keeping fit. Obviously, Ronnie does a lot of running, and a lot of players go to the gym. Chris, he's into the dancing. He did a charity Strictly sort of thing last year. Kept at it. Well, that would not have got a 10 from the judges, that shot, I don't think. Yeah, a good recovery again, though. You know, wrong side of the blue, but he's played a lovely shot, nicely in position again.
Such a good positional shot that he played there from that blue.
18.
Because he's actually playing through that gap between the green and brown. It's not a luck that you go through there. That is a shot that players play when you've got that specific angle. So it was a beautiful shot, executed to perfection.
$26. 27.
Well, they didn't exactly spread all over the table. He may be on the red he's closest to, if that passes the bunch. Just wonder if there's any kind of a twist in this match. At the moment, it's completely one-sided.
Wakelin, 34.
Well, Jack hasn't potted the ball since before the mid-session interval. And he might not put one here, but that's the first just ball he's missed really for a long time of any significance. And it wasn't easy.
Yeah, in terms of playing time, 46.5 minutes since Lisowski has potted a ball. Of course, you have to be able to see one, though. That's the thing, to pot one.
Yeah, that might have been a moment where he thought there's going to be an opportunity. But cue ball trickled to a safe area. Just get the feeling that if he got in here, crowd would get behind him because he's a very popular player. Also, I think the underdog is usually supported anyway. I think you could get something out of it, but as Dave said, you know, you've got to have something in front of you to go at.
The other thing is, the balls are open now. He's 34-0 down. If he doesn't get this safe, it could be it. He's looking at a possible plant to the left corner. And this would be a big shot, clearly, to take on. Because if he didn't get it, then he would surely leave something.
We've certainly seen that the plant is not available. He's got a clear shot at reds, but not a clear edge, I don't think, of very many. And failing that, you say, well, is there any kind of a pot I can attempt? It looks as if it might, the only one it might be is a plant. It's not, the cue ball's on the wrong side of the table to make that plant easy. If it was down further to the right, would be an easier possibility. It's lined up to the pocket, but not necessarily in the pocket. Didn't know what to do. He just did not know what to do.
What a gift for Chris Wakelin. My word, what a chance now.
Thank you.
All I will say about that is I don't think the plant was on full stop. You know, and if it's not on, you can't dream it into a plant. But he couldn't find a way out. I'm not saying that maybe someone like a Mark Selby or John Higgins would have done.
One.
Now then, there's a mistake. There is a mistake.
Yeah, he's left this far more awkward than it should be. With suddenly all the balls in play as well, that's the other thing.
Chris Wakelin, 8.
Well, the match looked over, didn't it? After the chance he got, he went wrong from red to black, potted the black, didn't get finish on the red. So Lisowski is still in there, just about. He may have thought he'd played his last shot there.
Yes, Wakelin, he didn't want to take a risk on going for a red, which I think had he gone for, he might have got. So, because he was over that black, as Dave said, it, you know, it keeps the match going. Those reds going safe to the right cushion, of course, not in Lisowski's favour. Wakelin will not be looking to move any of those because his lead almost becomes bigger with every safe red. Good shot, but it's not an easy colour again. A very brave shot to play, I think. For someone who's in front and is looking to get over the line here, I think that's a terrifically attacking shot. There's no negative options there, no thoughts of putting a ball safe.
Chris Wakelin is the first man into the Northern Ireland Open final. He grew stronger as the afternoon went on. Jack Lisowski will be very disappointed not to continue the good form he's shown in Belfast this week. But great applause for Chris Wakelin. He's a winner, 6-1.